Howdy, folks. It is DIECASTS Buffet here again, and Richmond is in the books. The first points-paying short track event in the Gen 7 era has finished, and Denny Hamlin comes out of the woodwork, steals the win from Kevin Harvick, Larson, Truex, all of them. Hamlin finally gets Toyota their first Gen 7 victory at, of course, Richmond. I expected a Toyota to win the race. I had Kyle Busch winning it because of the awesome paint scheme. And, of course, bad luck Chuck happens again. But if you want to get the Denny Hamlin Richmond race version 124 scale diecast, make sure to go ahead and pre-order over there at Circle Diecast. Use the promo code DIECASTBuffet, and you will get free shipping. Any orders $20 or more. So, let's talk about today's Richmond race. You know, I'm really excited. Next week's going to be a night race because usually the Richmond spring race for decades was always a night race. But I will say, for a day race, it actually played out pretty good. The strategy was incredible. I love seeing green flag pit stops. If you've been a fan of the channel for years, you would know I'm a huge advocate of no stage racing. I like green flag pit stops. I like seeing things get crazy off sequence. So I would say the strategy was incredible. I love to see these teams. You know, they go down pit road and then 30 cars enter pit road the next 2 laps. It's incredible. Tires are actually pretty valuable here at Richmond, which is something I did not expect. I did not expect tire wear to be this egregious, so that's really good. I'm a huge fan of tire wear. The overall racing product was so much better than probably the last 10 Richmond races. I mean, the Gen 6 era Richmond races, let's just be honest, guys, have just been really bad, especially this race last year. It was one of the worst races, in my opinion, all year. It was either Truex or it was Hamlin, and that was pretty much all the spring Richmond race was. And then they get a late caution, and then Bowman steals the show. So, in that regard, compared to last year, it's a night and day difference, which is really good. So I would say, is Gen 7 a success at Richmond? I'm going to say yes. The strategy was there. We saw that you were able to pass people. If you had a faster race car, you were able to pass people. There was no aerodynamic monkey business. There was none of that crap. If you had a faster race car, you were able to get to the pack and you were able to make passes. So that is something I really like to see. And as far as I'm concerned, there was a few big tests for the Gen 7 car regarding this season. Obviously, the restrictor plate racing, Fontana. I think that both of those flying colors, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Richmond. As far as I'm concerned, every single one of those passed with flying colors. The only true tests that I would say on the schedule for me, even Coda was a success as well, would be Michigan or Pocono. If it can pass those 2 tracks later in the season, Gen 7 is a slam dunk. Those are the races that, if you look at the Gen 6 era, it was hit or miss, right? Sometimes it would do great. More times than not, it wouldn't at, Vegas or at Fontana. I mean, people went from wanting to bulldoze Fontana to now, oh my goodness, it's fantastic. Let's keep it. Something I've been saying that Fontana's not the problem. It's the car. And I think Richmond can be a really good track. I really do. And it's been the Gen 6 car that was the problem. I would like to see a little bit more passing for the lead outside of the pit strategy. I think that was due because we didn't have much cautions, right? Which you can't really have both of them. You can't have a lot of cautions and then have a lot of green flag pit stops. But the passing was mostly indicative of the strategy calls. But when it came down to the end, we saw plenty of passing, which was fun. But I would like to see, because for example, Ryan Blaney would get on a restart, after a stage or something, and he would just take off. There was no chance. But the strategies really saved this race. So I do think there's a little bit of improvement that needs to happen to continue to improve the Gen 7 product. But when you compare it to the Gen 6 racing we saw at Richmond, it is night and day. I mean, it's not even like the same racetrack. So I'm really, really happy with that. And another great example, look at the Xfinity race. Nothing happened. It was the worst Xfinity race of the year. I'm happy. The finish was cool. It was between 2 teammates. Personally, I have no problem with drivers doing whatever it takes to win a race. I mean, you don't have to dump the guy. Just move him out of the way. There's literally no problem with that. It's stock car racing. That's how stock car racing has always been. You can go back to the Earnhardt era. That's how racing is. You move the guy out of the way. I have no problem with Chastain did. I have no problem with Allmendinger did. I have no problem with Ty Gibbs and Hunter Nemechek did yesterday. And Ty Gibbs, he's a very aggressive race car driver, but I would be too. I mean, it's for a win. Go for it. He did. It'd be different if he like Kyle Busch, Richmond, Dale Jr. style. If he would have just crashed his, Nemechek into his teammate into the wall and destroyed him, that would have been that's a little too much, right? But he did nothing wrong. He was going for the win. I love it. It's like I look at it like this. Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch after their 03 Darlington race. Kurt Busch lost the race, but he was smiling. He knew that was an epic finish. And that's kind of where I stand on that. Anyways, moving forward though. So Toyota gets their first win. They kind of get that monkey off the back. Kyle Busch though, just man, bad luck there. Bad luck. I never thought we would see a driver get black flagged for grill tape. It's crazy. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. We're learning as we go, right? First night race coming up at Martinsville. Hopefully we have some good weather. We've actually had fantastic weather so far. So I'm really hoping that this Martinsville weekend is going to be great. Think about it. Truck racing Thursday night. Finally, the trucks are back. Friday night, Xfinity racing. I do wish the Xfinity Richmond race was at night. I wish that was a night race on Friday night. I think that would have been cool. And then we have Cup racing. Finally, a night race. I've been so excited for night racing. I missed it. So it's going to be really cool. Hopefully it's a good show over there at Martinsville. Gen 6 racing at Martinsville has been pretty good, so I expect Gen 7 to be even better, especially how the Busch Clash was. Very similar racetracks, so it's going to be a lot of fun there. But Hamlin gets it done, gets his first win of the season. Truex almost had it, but he kind of slipped away. It was a fun race, though. I actually enjoyed it much better than I expected, and I would say it's a success. So what do y'all think about Richmond? Make sure to comment down below. And who'd you pick to win the race, guys? I picked Kyle Busch. I should have picked Hamlin. It was literally, I was thinking Hamlin, Truex, or Kyle Busch. I just had a feeling that it was going to be a Toyota driver. It's a Toyota-sponsored race. They haven't won all year. Generally, when they say a driver hasn't done something, they actually go and do it. So I was really thinking it was going to be a Camry in victory lane, and sure enough, finally, they're able to do so. I would say, though, Chase Elliott's car looks fantastic, so I'm really excited for the A-Shock Energy diecast when it comes out, but make sure to get your 124 scale Richmond race win. I'm assuming they're going to be making that. They're kind of finicky on the Hamlin cars if they make them or not, but I do think when it's your first win, the Gen 7 era, pretty sure Hamlin's going to get a 124 made for that, so make sure to go pre-orders today. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Hope you're having a fantastic day out there, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Diecast Buffet, signing off.